Dead Channel Duo Podcast, episode number 65. Today joined by Drake, JeromePKR, and GiraffeNeckMarc. How you doing, Drake?
Baby girl, I'm the best I've ever been. How are you?
Welcome back to the podcast. The first ever guest to be on twice.
I feel so honored.
Yeah, and the only guest that really isn't a content creator, but it's been on.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't even post on Instagram much.
So, typically we start off shows with what have you been doing, or what have you been doing? What have you been playing / watching? So, what have you been playing / watching this week, Drake, in your busy schedule?
Me and my boy Cash Jones have been playing a lot of Minecraft lately.
Yeah?
I think you stumbled upon that the other day.
I did.
Watching... Yikes. I've been watching a lot of podcasts, to be honest. A lot of Theo Vaughn and Chris D'Elia.
Yeah. Ain't gonna hate.
It's fun stuff. They're interesting. They're cool guys. I like the Fighter and the Kid, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen.
I have been watching Goldman versus Silverman.
Wow.
Which sounds stupid, and you probably think it will be stupid. So you watched Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
The director of Uncut Gems, one of their brothers, Safdie brothers. It's Do you know in New York the guys that like paint themselves in silver paint or gold paint and they sit still?
Yes.
So Adam Sandler is the gold man, and he's dressed up in the gold thing. He's sitting still, and then I think it's Josh Safdie is the silver man, and it's just 7 minutes of them messing with each other. Pretty good short. And then I watched Rear Window, The Trouble with Harry, What Did Jack Do? And then this week's pick, The Lighthouse. And I've been kind of watching The Office, but, it's just on while I'm sleeping. I'm not, consciously watching it. But I will say, I don't know what it is, but things have been funnier the past couple months. I don't know if it's just me getting older, but The Office is way funnier now than it used to be for some reason.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's on all the time in here, like in the living room.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things get me that I would just skim over.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because, we're older. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe because I work now. I really don't know.
It's the same thing like dad jokes. They're not funny, but then eventually they become funny.
Right. Yeah.
Then playing-wise, played some Roblox with the boys.
Love it.
Played some Madden, some Rocket League, and some Papa's Wingeria.
Yes, sir.
Did you play Papa's Wingeria?
Man, I was more of a, what was it, the Sunday? Yeah, I'd make a mean Sunday.
They have the Papa's games on your phone. Not going to lie.
No way.
They're $2. I bought Papa's Wingeria, and I've been just playing it on my phone.
I want to buy them, yeah.
Yeah. The Papa's games are definitely top-tier Flash games.
Gotta be. The donut? I want to buy the donut one.
Yeah, I think they're all on there.
That's beautiful.
We do have a couple listener questions, and then after that we'll have an interview with Giraffe. Drake won't be there, just be me and GiraffeNeckMarc. Then there'll be a section with me and JeromePKR. I know it's a weird week. I should probably get to the point, and I'll probably edit into the beginning explaining this as well. Yeah, Alex isn't here. He's taking the episode off. I'm not going to say why because I'm not going to just air his stuff, But he's taking the episode off. We're having a fun episode. Most of you probably are here for Alex, so you're probably going to click off and not watch the rest of the video. Go for it. If you want to watch the GiraffeNeckMarc interview, timestamp description, JeromePKR, all that stuff, or if you want to sit through the whole episode, please, by all means, do that. And then after those interviews, me and Drake, the reason I brought him here is because we watched The Lighthouse together. And that's our film club this week, my pick, and we're going to be talking about that. So, the listener questions, we have 2 questions, both from Jared or Spoon Sandwich. First one is, why doesn't Twitter allow more than 4 items in a poll? This question is brought on to us because he tweeted, which is the better baseball movie? And he tweeted a bunch of baseball movies. I don't remember which ones he tweeted. And then I jokingly responded to Ed, which is objectively and subjectively an awful movie. And then a bunch of other people put movies, and apparently it's a whole big deal because I jokingly put Ed. He didn't really respond to me, but they were responding to other people. It's like, you guys are idiots. You need to learn how to read. So why don't they allow more than 4? I think it's just like if you're scrolling down the Twitter line, it's not just like a huge poll. If I'm giving you a real answer.
Yeah, that's probably pretty.
And the next question is, would you ever own one of those cats with no fur?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on getting another cat, but sure, why not?
No, I don't want it, but like I would have it,
Yeah. If it was like on my back porch and it was like, this is my house now, I'd be like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Like whenever I get my hair cut and they like, they go bald in the fade.
Yeah.
I just love rubbing that. So I couldn't imagine that I wouldn't love rubbing that cat.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I
I don't know if it's the same. Like the I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna.
Here for it.
So now we're gonna get to the part where I interview GiraffeNeckMarc, and we'll be back at you at the end of the episode. Attempt number 2, interviewing Yankees fans Twitter's favorite content creator, GiraffeNeckMarc. We did about 30 minutes, and then the file messed up after, which is fun. So how you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well. I'm still doing well.
Right.
Second take. I'm here to give you some better answers this time. That's really what it is.
All right. I really I had all these great topics, so I'm still gonna go through them and hope I guess different answers. So the first one was about our first interaction, which you clearly remember now since I told you.
Yes.
But the first time me and Mark ever met was he had like 1,000 subs. I remember the video I found him on. He was playing Madden 17, and he was wearing a Redskins jersey and had like a goatee. And I messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, man, do you have any tips for like a small up-and-coming YouTuber? And he responded, don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right for me during that time. A little more helpful now, but I think for me, giving that answer at the time was more of a like, hey, I have 1,000 subs. I don't even know. So like, don't be the guy who's just going around asking everybody, how do I get subs? How do I get views? Because as a YouTuber, like as much as you want to help people, that's just like the most annoying question ever. Because it's like, there's really no answer. You just have to kind of figure it out yourself. And then from there, you learn like little tips and tricks of like, oh, you need a good thumbnail. You need a good title. You need to be entertaining. Really what it comes down to.
I mean, I think at most had like 1,600 subs. So I'm not like ever been a big YouTuber, but yeah, it's kind of like you just throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, like even with my channel, I took like a risk dropping MLB The Show, just going straight like real MLB content when it was getting worse views at the time than my video game stuff. But
yeah,
you just got to figure out like you got to plan and think, how am I going to package this? What's going to be more enticing for people to watch? And I just saw a much bigger audience with real MLB.
So, as a Red Sox fan, I'm a big fan of Jared Krappus's Twitter. And I know he follows you. Is there any like story to that or anything?
So there's a little story because it's like I fanboyed over it. I was like freaking out when that happened. So I think the Red Sox season was pretty much over at this point, and the Mets were still going. Yeah, they were like still in it, and he tweeted out like, "The Red Sox season's over. Looking for any teams like that I can join the bandwagon of." And I replied because I followed him, and I was like, Jared, we got space for you with the Mets. Like, come over here. We both hate the Yankees. Let's do it. And he was like, oh, man, like, he's like, oh, for sure. Like, by the way, love your videos. Watch them all the time on the train back and forth from New York to Boston. And I was like, what? I was like, that's my guy. Like, that's like one of the dudes that like I like look up to. Don't necessarily like model myself after, but I like a lot of the stuff that he does and how he goes about his work. So that was like pretty sick. And then he dropped me a follow, and I was like, holy shit. All right, Jay Krabbus, let's go. Like, that's one of the big follows on my Twitter, which I definitely like am super proud of. I
remember that interaction, but I thought that you guys knew each other before then. Like, I guess I never noticed that he followed you before then. And I was like,
yeah, no, he I still need to meet him, and I think like at some point this year I'm gonna be like, all right, Mets Red Sox, like you're gonna come to a Mets game with me, or I'll go to a Red Sox game with you. We'll figure something out, because at the time too, like my sub count and following is a little bit different than it was then. Yeah. So it's like I have a little bit of pull now where like it would make sense for him to do something with me.
I mean, you did the spring training stuff. Where I don't know which one you went to.
Arizona. Yeah, Arizona.
Was that like, did they come to you and were like, hey, we've got this opportunity for you to come over to spring training and interview players? Is that how it kind of was?
So the way that it goes down is there's like a person at Major League Baseball that contacted me when I started like really getting going with baseball videos.
Yeah.
They like commented on it. He's like, "Hey, I work for Major League Baseball. We'd like to have a talk one day." And I was like, "This is either going to go really good or really bad. They're going to tell me like, you got to stop, or we love what you're doing."
Please
luckily, luckily they said, "We love what you're doing. Keep it up. Like that's exactly what we're looking for." And I was like, "Great." So became friendly with him. He actually got, I think, like 5 or 6 of us all on a call to just go over like what we thought for the next year, where they should be going YouTube wise.
Yeah.
He's like, "And if you guys ever want credentials or anything like that, like hit me up." And I was like, "Dope. I have a plan that I've been waiting on for 6 months that I like was waiting to ask you." Gave him the plan about how I want to go to Arizona, hit up as many teams as possible, interview players, and he was completely down, set it up, and that was pretty much it. And now, like, whenever I have stuff, I go to him, or I've made relationships with a lot of the people in like the departments over there for each team, so I'll just message them and get something done, and they're pretty receptive most of the time.
Were you starstruck whenever you were on the field with all the players?
Yeah, so what was great was the first day that we were in Arizona. That was like my first time really doing any of this kind of stuff. Yeah. We had like the lady over there for the Mariners. Her name's Kelly. She was fantastic. She was like so nice and like was so pumped that we wanted to do stuff with them. So that was like a really good opener. And like to the point where like she was like, "All right, who do you want to talk to?" I was like, I don't know. I don't know who I'm allowed to ask for. Like I gave you a list of players that I thought was like acceptable. She's like, "Okay, I'll get you those guys, and let me know if there's anybody else." So we did like our first 3 interviews, and then she's like, "I got Malik Smith too. You want to talk to him?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. You got me another guy, no problem." So talked to all of them, and then she's like, "Yeah, you guys can like go wherever you want on the field and everything. Just like be careful, don't get hit by baseballs." So it's like, "Anywhere?" She's like, "Yeah, anywhere." I'm like, "Well, Ichiro's taking BP. I'm gonna go watch him take BP on the field." So that was like a pretty sick moment, just being like 10 feet away from one of the greatest hitters of all time. And then we got to go to the game afterwards, and same thing. We were like walking around in the outfield while they were warming up and having a catch. So like 10 feet away from Ichiro, like getting him on film and everything. I was like, this was a good start. This was a good way to break me in to like, it's probably not going to get as exciting as this. And then like a few days later, we're at the Angels camp and interviewing a couple guys. And she's like, "Okay, this next one we have to walk through the clubhouse to talk to the guy like in the, you know, a hallway or whatever." It's like, "Sure." So we walk in, I'm like, "Holy shit, it's Albert Pujols and Mike Trout. What the heck?" Oh my God.
Did you not say, you were just like, "Oh God," or like walk past, or did you?
I walked past and I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, you know, like Will Ferrell, like I don't know what to do with my hands. I felt like that. I was like, like it's 2 of the greatest players of all time in the same area. Like, and I could have been like, "Hey," and they probably went, "What's up?" Like nothing else.
Yeah. Is that where you first interacted with Jabari Blash? I don't know if he's on the Angels then.
Yeah, no, he's last year he actually made the move to Japan. But my first interaction with him was obviously like I had the MLB The Show history with him where he was like a bit of a meme. He was a terrible player in the game, but I always played so crazy good with him. And then he got traded to the Yankees, which of course is a Yankee hater. Yeah. I was like, "Really? Jabari Blash, the one guy that I root for no reason? Trade for? Are you kidding me?" So I made that video. That video blew up for me at the time. And his younger brother, who was in the Nationals organization, actually sent it to him. And then Jabari messaged me being like, "Yo, that video's funny as hell. Like, I love it. Let's talk, figure something out." And that's how we became friends. And then I met him in Chicago 2018. Yeah, so I went to a White Sox game out there, met him, took us out to dinner, and one of the nicest players I've ever met. He was just like, I consider him a friend now.
That's cool. The only interaction I've ever had with players is I made a video about Jamil Showers, the 4th string quarterback for the Cowboys a couple years ago.
Really?
And I don't know if it's real or not, but someone commented, "Hey, Jamil's my cousin. F you for making this video," or something like that. And then for like a while, if you Google his name, went to images, it was like the 4th picture. It was a picture of his Madden card. It said "worst quarterback in the game" or something like that.
Yeah, that was like very similar to the Jabari stuff with me, where for a while, like you type in Jabari Blash and it would be like all my videos, like, pictures of my face and then his. So it's interesting the kind of impact you can have on like kind of like a lower popularity player's like career and stuff.
Yeah. Something between later in the show, we're having JeromePKR as a guest. When I was Googling his logo for a thumbnail, like the 4th picture is just a picture. It's a selfie of Bengal. And really? I sent it to him, and he goes, "Lamau, I'm definitely taking a shit in that picture." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that's from, but there you go." When you Google Jerome.
You start searching names, you start to see some pictures out there, especially like now with like all our usernames and everything being our personalities, essentially.
It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna ask you this question again. If you had to have an all-time starting 9, who you going with?
All right, so at catcher, I got my boy Mike Piazza. That's my guy. First base, I'm going to go out with Albert Pujols. Second base, I don't even remember who I said in the first one, so I'm going to have to think. I said Alfonso Soriano.
Yeah, you did.
I stand by that. I love that guy. Shortstop, I think I originally had Jeter, but I want to change it. I think I'm going to change it to Troy Tulowitzki if he was healthy, which we talked about briefly, because I think if that guy was healthy, he's going to go down as one of the best shortstops of all time. Third base, as much as I'd like to put David Wright, got to go A-Rod. Dude's a stud. And outfield, I'm going to go Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and I had Carlos Beltran, but I'll go Mike Trout because I forgot about Mike Trout for a second. So we'll go Mike Trout. And then pitcher, Pedro.
With the Jeter, how annoyed are you that he was 1 vote short of unanimous?
So I'm actually not annoyed. I think it's kind of funny. Like, as a Yankee troll like myself, it's funny just because, like, that gives me fuel now for the rest of time. I can always bring up how Jeter didn't get 100%, and that would just get a certain amount of Yankee fans so irrationally angry. Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Like, Babe Ruth didn't get 100%. Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, those guys are 10 times the player that Jeter was.
Barry Bonds is even in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so, like, it could have been a lot worse. He could have gotten no votes.
Yeah.
You're in the Hall of Fame. You're in the Hall of Fame at the end of the day. They don't put what your percentage is on your plaque, or that you don't get a special wing for being a guy who got unanimous vote. He should have been a unanimous guy. The fact that he didn't doesn't really matter to me. If anything, it just makes me laugh a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Mariano should have been the first. I think he deserved to be unanimous, but I don't think he should have been the first. Probably should have been like Ken Griffey. And if we really want to go back, it should have been some of the greats that were put in earlier. But of recent time, unanimous, you're probably not going to see it very often.
Outside of Mike Trout, is there anyone today that could potentially get it?
I think there's guys that I think should, obviously, like Pujols should be 100% no matter what. I think you'll probably get a couple guys that don't vote for him just because they'll say, like, in Los Angeles he wasn't very good, which is ridiculous. Trying to think any other guys that are pretty. Clayton Kershaw should be unanimous. He won't be because people will say he wasn't a playoff guy, so he'll drop a couple votes there, which is ridiculous. The next few classes in the Hall of Fame are a little bit weak. There was a bit of a dull period where guys were playing longer than previous careers. Yeah. But those would be kind of the big names right off the top of my head that I'd say are close to unanimous.
All right, moving on to other sports. I know we talked about football earlier, but do you watch any basketball or hockey or anything like that?
I would say basketball is my second favorite sport, especially to watch. And college basketball is definitely my favorite. I prefer that over the NBA. You definitely get, obviously, a higher quality product with the NBA. It's better basketball. Yeah. But I love the upsets in college. I'm a South Carolina fan, so every game for us is an upset, basically. And I just you go.
College basketball has, that energy of the student section. I don't know. I like that for the NBA, but college basketball has its own vibe that no other sport has.
Oh yeah, the environment, you can't beat it. Even for me, I went to South Carolina. We're not a basketball school, but we made a Final Four run while I was there, and I'll never forget that moment. That's easy number one top moments in college, the Final Four run. I still have all the videos on my phone from going out at the bars while the games was happening. Every once in a while, I'll be on the toilet and I'm I'm going to watch the Final Four run again on my phone. And I'm oh, this was such a big time. And I just don't get that with any other sport besides baseball with the Mets. So that's why I love college sports.
No hockey or anything like that?
I love going to hockey games. Going to them, great. And I think I watched the playoffs in high school a little bit because the Rangers and the Devils were both going back and forth at one point. So that was really cool to watch. But I can't watch regular season hockey on TV, and I can't watch hockey in general on TV unless I'm with a group of people that are watching it and drinking and stuff. It's more of a social thing.
Any MMA or boxing?
I actually really like boxing a lot. I'm not super into following it, but if there's fights, I pretty much want to watch every single one of them if they have a big name. And I actually went to my first boxing event live a couple years ago at the Barclays Center. Yeah. I don't know how deep into it you are, but
not really.
Carl Frampton, he was this Northern Irish guy versus Santa Cruz or whoever it was, who are now both guys who are fighting for titles and stuff. Yeah. But that was an awesome environment too. boxing live, fighting MMA too, I'm sure even more.
Yeah.
Like the fans get into it. Like they brawl like in the like, concession area over fighters. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know. Boxing for me, it's like outside of Tyson Fury and Wilder or like
Fury. Yeah.
GGG. Like other like the top 5 guys.
Yeah.
No idea who you're talking about.
Yeah. But, so like I'm kind of in that same boat as you where like if I don't know if you remember, but like the McGregor Mayweather fight, like the undercard there was this one guy, I can't remember his name now, but like he's kind of like a lighter weight dude, but he threw like absolute haymakers, and now I'm seeing his name like more and more. I'm like, oh, I remember that guy. He must be doing pretty well now. And so yeah, I'm not into it super much, like super deep, but on the surface, like I love watching boxing.
UFC at all?
UFC too. The problem for me is like I need to see a fight in UFC. Like you go to the ground, I lose immediate interest. I'm on my phone.
I got you.
And like I'm not a huge fan of like the women fighting either. It's just like if you give me a guy fighting and a woman fight, I'm gonna pick the guy just because it's more explosive, more powerful.
Yeah, I got you.
Obviously, they would kick my ass in a second. But I don't know if I had to pick. Like those would be the 2 that I just don't watch as much.
Yeah, I enjoy it on the ground. I know it gets booed all the time at every event. And it kind of annoys me that they're booing it. Like, I like on the ground, but I totally agree with the women fighting. Outside of, like, Amanda Nunes, really...
she's a beast.
Really don't care when a girl's fighting. Nothing against them. There's a few that... But, like, 99% of the time, I'm just going to get bored while watching it.
Yeah. Which is, like, I wish I didn't, but I can't help it. That's how it is.
Did you watch the event last week? Potentially? No?
McGregor fight?
McGregor.
I did. That was a... That's pretty much what you expected from Conor, right? You were hoping that he'd come out and just start swinging. And I know, like, the Cowboy Cerrone is, like, really popular, like, a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And I saw some people on Twitter were, like, discrediting the fight, being like, he shouldn't be fighting these guys. But, like, from everyone else that I know that knows the sport, they're like, he's a really good fighter. This wasn't, like, a cakewalk. It's just McGregor's that good. If
you look at Cowboy's fight history, it's like, he's not, like, fighting the top guys all the time, but Donald... He's like a Robbie Lawler where he could potentially mess you up.
Yeah.
And then Conor is, he came back. He's great.
Oh, he's the man.
Gotta love him.
Man. Like as a person, he's all right. But, like as an entertainer, as like a showman, he's one of the best.
But also like after every fight, he's like super humble and he's like.
Well, that's the thing that's so confusing is like he cannot be a garbage person sometimes, but then like he goes into a bar and fights an old man, or he like throws a chair through the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude, just use your head.
I mean, it's all for the entertainment.
It honestly is though. Like whatever he's doing, it's working because he's making bank.
Yeah, like when he fought Khabib, when they're on the ground, Khabib was like, "Where are you talking now? Why ain't you talking now?" And Conor, I forgot what he said, but he's whispering. He's like, "It's just for the money. Like it's all a show."
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
He definitely understands how to promote a fight without it.
Which he has like the top 3 or 4 most sold UFC events all time.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. The dude was a MMA guy, and he's like, I have no problem getting my ass beat to fight Floyd Mayweather just to get my name out there more.
And he didn't look that bad. Like,
no, he looked okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be way worse.
Like, I was like, Floyd's gonna knock him out. Like, Floyd's not a knockout guy, obviously, but like,
no,
he's gonna knock him out in the first round, potentially. Just because Floyd's arguably the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah, and like really knows how to like fight and really knows how to like punch. Like Conor's a hard hitter, but like for the UFC, you put him in a boxing ring, it's a completely different story. But he did really well.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, there was the MLB The Show trailer. I know we talked about you're not really playing it that much. I was just gonna let you reiterate that in this part.
Yeah, so no plans to be uploading MLB The Show back on the channel. For those of you who don't know, that's where I actually like originally started with the Giraffe Neck name, was I upload MLB The Show videos, but I made the switch to real MLB content. The game looks really good this year. Like there's a lot of changes that they're making that are really exciting, and I like makes me wish that I was making videos, but I know for like my own channel and where I need to go with things, that's not the right decision. But maybe you'll catch me on Twitch every once in a while playing it, because it's definitely still a fun game, especially if you like baseball.
And you can be like Bengal, and you'd be like, I'm streaming tonight. Never actually stream.
Bengal loves to do, he'll hop in a call with us, because like we're all in the same call on Discord. And he'll hop in and he'll talk, and he goes, I'm going to go stream. And he just randomly lights it up. So maybe one of those for me.
I don't know. From his Twitter, he's just like, gonna stream tonight, and then he like doesn't do it ever.
I've been known to not necessarily with stream, but I'll say I'm gonna upload today.
Yeah.
And I go, I didn't end up uploading. sometimes real life gets in the way, where you just go, why did I tweet that? You know, like.
Do you ever like start a recording, like 5 seconds into you're like, nope, not feeling it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm trying to think of some of the videos recently. Like a lot of the times it will be content that I'm trying something new with. So like one good example was like I think I was gonna do like my opinion on every stadium, and I think I eventually ended up making the video, but like the first 2 takes I took it, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. Like I need to like actually like sit down and do a little more research. Like I can't just go off the top of my head or this. I've recorded a video, edited it, and go, I'm not uploading this. This is so bad.
Yeah,
Like, I can't even put this on the channel.
You did the top 30 players each position.
Yeah.
How difficult was that to make?
So let's take away like the whole production aspect. Just ranking players alone.
Yeah.
I probably spent like 2 or 3 hours on each list, just because like the way I go through my rankings, and I guess a little bit of a like inside look at what I do is I put every single logo for Major League Baseball like on one screen, and like, okay, who's their shortstop, who's their third baseman, blah blah, and I go, okay, boom, that's where the starter. This next guy's better than him. This next guy's worse than him. Go through that way, and then at the end I go through, look at all their numbers to make sure that it all lines up with what I want to say. But like the rankings itself takes like 2 or 3 hours, and then luckily for this, I actually got an editor to help me out a lot. So I hired a kid to help me out and edit. He edited, I think, 8 of the 12 that I made, and then I did 4 of them. So that was really nice. But yeah, 12 like big videos like that in 12 days was super stressful, super tiring. And I think I took this past weekend off, which was like really like my first kind of break from YouTube in a really long time. And that might have not been exactly after Christmas, but that like felt like I just needed it, where I was like, holy crap, I was running on fumes. Because it really does, like, I try to upload every day, and it's hard, which you've uploaded, you know, it's like so tough to upload every day. So it takes a lot of work, but I enjoy it. Like, it's the kind of grind that I like.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of under pressure because it's like, were you doing it? Did you record them pre-hand, or was it just like right on the wire? You're like, I gotta go. You gotta get this done now.
So because I had an editor, we started the 12 days. I think I started on the 13th because I included Christmas as one of the days. So I think I started recording videos like the first couple days in December.
Yeah.
And I got him like 4 or 5 before we got started. And then I kind of got lazy, and like there was some moves happening, and I just got busy. So I didn't have that far ahead. But like when I came down to the stretch, like the last 4 videos were edited by me.
Yeah.
And I think he snuck like the relievers in there to cover me. So that was good. But yeah, there was like the top 50. I stayed up until like 5 a.m. and then I had to be up like 2 hours later to go do stuff the next day. And it was, you kind of give up a few things here, like sleep and stuff. But I was like, I know that it's going to be worth it because there's going to be huge views for my channel. December, of course, is always a great month for YouTubers. It was, looking back on it, I am so happy I did, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
Going back to interacting with actual MLB players, was it Miguel Rojas that tweeted you? It was like, oh, you're an idiot.
that was the first time I'd had a player respond to something I said about them.
Yeah.
So I put him. I didn't even actually put him in my list because like I don't care. This guy's terrible.
Yeah.
Granted, I forgot about him. To be fair, I went with someone else at shortstop, I think, for the Marlins. But he was not happy. Well, the Marlins fans weren't happy that I left him off. And then in the comments, I was like, okay, Marlins fans, here's where he'd be. He'd be 30th. Congrats. Do you really want me to tell you about how bad your shortstop is? Who cares? And so then I had Marlins fans tweeting me, being like, how do you have Miguel Rojas so low? Not tagging his Twitter or anything. Yeah. So the guy is out there, either he has TweetDeck and has got his own name on the sidebar, or he searches his name every day on Twitter. Saw the tweet and was like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I did more for the team than anything. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not saying you don't work hard. I'm not saying you're one of the best, 600 players in the entire world.
You had to be skilled enough to make the MLB.
Yeah.
But like ranking you amongst MLB players,
you're not one of the best. And that's just like looking at your numbers. You're a great fielder, but at the plate, you're horrible. Unless you're playing the Mets, you are a severely below average hitter. He was trying to say that like OPS doesn't matter, and it was like, well, it does, because it tells you how many extra base hits you get, how many times you get on base, gives it a numerical value. So I'm okay with him not liking what I have to say.
Yeah.
But the thing that scares me if I was like a Marlins fan or an athlete is like, you can't let me bother you. You can't.
Yeah.
Like I won. That's it.
Yeah. Alex, my usual co-host, he's a Marlins fan, and I feel like he would agree with you. And like he's like super cynical about the Marlins. He's like, oh, we're so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's honest. He's like, yeah, we're bad.
Yeah.
And then like with Derek Jeter, like the one vote off thing, he'd probably love that. Because he hates Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I mean, like, as a Marlins fan, you have to be... It's ended up being okay for him because a lot of the prospects now are going to be coming up and they're going to be getting better. But at the time, those trades were just, like, on paper so incredibly terrible that, like you gave up Stanton, which ended up being a good one because you got that contract out of there. But, again, on paper, you paid the Yankees money and gave them Giancarlo Stanton for Starlin Castro. Gross. You traded Christian Yelich for 4 prospects who weren't even top guys at the time. Christian Yelich, MVP, could have won it again this year. Marcelo Ozuna was another guy who just came off a career season, showed like he was going to be a top player in the league. Got rid of D. Gordon. You got rid of JT Realmuto. Like he gutted the team. And they were so close. If they got pitching, they could have been good too. That's the thing.
Is there any under the radar? I mean, I know you make videos pretty much on every single roster move. I guess I'll word this like this. Is there anything you made the video on, and then after you made the video, you went back and was like, I was wrong. I should probably, or like, this is a better move than I thought, or a worse move than I thought?
Like in retrospect, or like you're saying like immediately after recording?
Or like Marcell Ozuna recently, hypothetically.
Yeah.
I didn't watch this video, sorry. I normally watch most of your videos because
I appreciate it.
You're my favorite content creator because I don't really follow baseball super closely, but you typically like, here's the news, and they explain why it's a bad or good move. So, like, hypothetically, the Braves sign him, I assume it's a good move.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
But hypothetically, if it was a bad move, in retrospect, thinking about it, have you ever had, like, a video like that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of videos like that. I mean, like, that's part of the thing that I love about my channel. I think a lot of people like, too, is that I give my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who just kind of, sits on the fence. I'll say whether or not, like, it's going to be yes or no for most of the time. So one in particular that has come back to haunt me was Gio Urshela last year for the Yankees. I think I did, like, my tier lists at the time, and I put him in, like, D tier. And people were like, are you crazy? And I was like, listen, this is a lifetime, like, 202 hitter. He's a journeyman. He's getting some playing time right now. They don't know the scouting reports. Like, that's why his numbers are so high. I don't think he's really that good at the end of the day. He ended up having a fantastic season. So I kind of look like an idiot on that point. And I'll be the first to admit it. Like, I was wrong about him last year. I have no problem saying that I was wrong. So that's like a big one for me. I'm trying to think of like another one that came back to haunt me a little bit. The season predictions last year came back to haunt me, definitely, because I had the Mets playing the Yankees in the World Series.
I feel like everybody, it's like everyone's wrong about season predictions. Correct. But like you're so confident going into it, you're like, this is what's gonna happen, and then like injuries or like the team doesn't gel, like so many weird things happen.
Like Mickey Callaway killed us. I'm a big on paper the Mets should have been a lot better than they were last year. Like Edwin Diaz was horrendous, Jairus Familia was horrendous, Noah Syndergaard really wasn't a great pitcher. Like there was problems. That's what happens in baseball. That's what makes it great is you have 162 games to prove why you're good. And typically the best teams do rise to the top. But yeah, picking the Mets to win the World Series, that's one that's always going to like hang over my head. But also like at the same time, like I'm okay with it because part of the reason why that video did so well was because I picked the Mets to win the World Series, was because I was so adamant about where I put these teams in different scenarios. Like if I just went out there and said, oh, it's going to be the Astros Dodgers, that video probably doesn't get as many views, which kind of sucks because you want to be right. But also at the same time, YouTube's a form of entertainment. You want to keep the people interested. And I think I gained a lot of fans as well as a lot of people that dislike me, but also still know who I am, which that's always my motto. If you love me or you hate me. Yeah,
me and Alex, we do a NFL special before the season, and we I think we both had the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and they went 5-11 this year, and it was just an absolute train wreck.
Yeah, and that's like I think what makes sports so great is that you have all this speculation, you have all this hype, all this build up before the season starts, and then you have to go out and you have to play, and that's like why there's fans. That's why you go and watch games because you really don't know what's going to happen at the end.
Yeah. Speaking of football, do you have a Super Bowl pick? I know you're not that big into football, but
yeah, I mean, I've been watching the playoffs. I want the Chiefs to win.
All right.
Just because, like, I love Mahomes, and Mahomes' dad played for the Mets, and Pat Mahomes reps the Mets all the time, so I think I got to root for him there. But the 49ers, that defense is so gross.
Yeah.
Like, they just shut teams down. That's just what they do. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be really close. But I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I'm rooting for them. So all right. Let's go Chiefs.
As a 49ers fan, let me try to convince you.
Okay. Right. Listen, I can be convinced.
Debo Samuel. Fellow Gamecock.
Debo. Gamecock, I know.
I was really all I was shooting for. Come on.
For me, I am not angry or sad or happy if either team wins or loses. Yeah. At the end of the day, I want good commercials and I want a great game. Like, because the last couple of Super Bowls I feel like have been kind of snooze fests.
Yeah. Usually, the NFL's the worst sport postseason wise. Regular season football is like the most entertaining thing. The playoffs are entertaining, and then the Super Bowl is awful every year. I feel like, but then you have
besides the Patriots Falcons where they came back from that huge game. Like I feel like the last few Super Bowls have just been like, especially last year was so bad.
And then there's the Broncos Seahawks one that like in the first quarter is like 20-0. Yeah, and the game was already over.
Yeah, it's like great. Okay.
Then you have like MLB postseason's incredible. Like I don't really, I try to pay attention to regular season. But just so like long, it's hard to like stay with it.
You have to be a legitimate fan.
Yeah.
You can't be a casual and follow baseball for the full season. Where like with football, you can be a casual fan because it's once a week for 16 weeks or whatever.
And then, like postseason baseball is great. Postseason hockey is the best postseason in my opinion. It's wild. Like last postseason, the two number 1 seeds both got eliminated in the first round. And then
the Blues won last year, right?
Yeah, against my Bruins in Game 7.
Oh.
I lost $200 on that game betting. Yeah, so it's not a great spot.
No.
But yeah, like hockey, the Tampa Bay Lightning had the greatest record ever in hockey history last year. They got swept in the first round.
Yeah.
Like hockey's insane, but then like I don't know.
I mean, like, even for me, I don't watch hockey, but I remember I was talking to you about it before. Like, in high school, the Rangers and the Devils were both in the playoffs, and I think they met in the Eastern Conference Finals one year. And, like, I had to watch. I was like, this is so exciting to watch. And who's the announcer for NBC?
I usually don't.
He's got, like, Doc Emmerich, is that a guy?
Doc Emmerich's one of them.
Yeah, I love him. He's so hype. So like I love watching games when he does it.
I normally turn off the audio. Like I'm weird. Like I play video games with no audio unless it's like COD where you need the audio to play. I normally play with no audio. Like same thing in sports. I don't listen to the commentators. I usually just like throw on like some music. It's weird. I don't know.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, like in college, that was like the big thing. Like at pre-games, was like you're not listening to the game, you have music blasting, but you have whatever good game is on. So I can see that.
So I don't know. I don't normally know commentators. Is there any commentators in baseball that annoy you? I know there's like a lot of commentators, like Booger on. You've probably seen on Twitter. Everyone hates Booger in the NFL.
Yeah, Booger's horrible. Booger's terrible.
Is there any baseball people that are like that for you?
So I really think Joe Buck is horrible. I actually think he's pretty good for football. Like I don't mind him at all. But I think for baseball, he's just doesn't have it. The like clip I always like to go to, and I know people are like, well, he was sick at the time or whatever, was when David Freese hit like the big walk-off against the Rangers in the World Series.
My brother was at that game.
Really? That's a great game to be at. And like it was such a hype, like that's such an incredible moment, and he's just like, we'll see you tomorrow. And like, come on, man. That's your call? David Freese just hit a walk-off homer in the World Series, and you say, we'll see you tomorrow? Like, come on. Or even, what was it recently? There was another clip that came up, and I was like, that was his call? Maybe it was Rajai Davis? No, I think he went off for Rajai Davis. But he just, like, I know his thing is letting the crowd kind of be, like, what takes over the atmosphere. I don't agree with that. Like, the Mets guy, bias here, but I think Gary Cohen's like the best play-by-play guy in Major League Baseball because he just like he knows the game really well and he gets super hype like when stuff happens. It's like that ball's out of here. Like I love that. That's what you want to be excited when you're watching. I don't like the ESPN crew. The ESPN crew is terrible. I think Matt Vasgersian before has been good, but I think he has to dumb himself down for ESPN, which is unfortunate. Same thing with A-Rod. And even Jessica Mendoza, I think she's horrible, but I think she probably knows more than she's allowed to talk about, which is kind of like a problem too, with just like national broadcast and how ESPN handles baseball. But for the most part, there's not a lot that bothers me. I watch mostly the Mets, and if I'm watching another game, it'll be like West Coast. And again, like you said, those games I'll have off, like the audio off, and I'll be playing video games to the side or something like that. So not too many that bother me.
I gotcha. Well, I think that's going to be it for this segment. I'm going to let you plug yourself. Where do we find GiraffeNeckMarc?
Sure. Keep it simple. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, GiraffeNeckMarc. Baseball content pretty much everywhere. Instagram's obviously like a little more personal. Twitter, you get a lot more tweets from me. I tweet a lot. I tweet a lot of garbage as well. And then YouTube, all baseball. So if you like baseball, definitely your guy. Don't take anything I say too seriously. I'm not trying to offend you. Don't worry. It's just I'm opinion.
Yeah, it's all fun. We're just having a fun time talking about a sport we all love, baseball.
Exactly. Like, listen, if you told me, while I was in high school, like your job after college would be you get to make a video every single day talking about baseball, and that's how you work. But hell yeah, let's go. I'm in. Like, sign me up. Yeah. So I'm living the dream. I'm happy.
All right, we're gonna move on to a little interview with Jerome. All right, now we're joined by JeromePKR. How you doing, Jerome?
Hey, it's been a while. Like, it feels good though. I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm good. I've want to open off with a question. How do you spell the word giraffe, Jerome?
I'm not doing this. I'm not. I literally, as a joke, I'm not doing it, and because I feel like I legit will misspell it again.
Yeah, that's always a fun. Every
Is
time.
It worse than New Orleans though? Is about that worse? As well. Did you know the
Yeah, I know that, but like you and Bengal argued for an hour about how to spell giraffe.
Did you know Bengal legit made a video on the New Orleans thing? Well, the New Orleans thing. So, like, I feel like there's actual video proof of not having a brain. It's all right,
I might be able to find. I don't know if those Twitter messages still exist.
Don't do that. But
I should look for them for the memes.
If you find them, I would be shocked. But it's not a challenge, so please don't.
All right, so you're here. I can ask you this question.
Oh, great.
Do you remember that group message? Alex was in the franchise, correct? Because he refuses to admit. I swear he was in that franchise.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. The fantasy draft one, right?
Yeah. No. Oh, wait.
Was it not? It was a fantasy.
Yeah,
it was live
yeah.
streamed. Was it the one that was? Yeah.
It was either.
I think so.
That or the tournament that he refuses to admit he was a part of.
Tournament. I'm not sure about the tournament.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking of the fantasy draft one where things got quite wild.
Nothing
was
happened in that
video. Don't look for it, please.
There's no timestamps in the description. Yeah. So, how's Madden doing, Jerome?
Madden itself,
yeah.
YouTube is doing all right, but the game, your guess is as good as mine. There's so many bad things. It's fun, but it is quite annoying at times.
Yeah, is
that's just
content still fun to make, or are you just grinding?
Oh yeah, I think that's the thing that is crazy for me is that I've always loved Madden in that sense. Like, put up 80 hours. I wish 80 days per Madden, pretty much of playtime. Obviously, a lot of AFK. That's what I'm gonna say at least. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why. It's just always fun for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's when I stopped making content, obviously.
Yeah, I've seen. I still have you as one of my recommended because I'm just like, one day, dude. One day. He's gonna
Every
come
time
back.
I came back on a different channel, but you have my old channel still.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that actually.
I came back and Bengal gave me a shout out. I gained 1,400 subs in a month, and I was like,
I remember that actually.
And then I was like, I was just like, I don't know, I'm not about it.
You're almost committed at that rate, and then it's just like,
It's just like at one point I just convinced myself, I was like, man, I really am not enjoying this.
Honestly, if I would to give any advice to anyone, if you're gonna do YouTube, probably do not go with a sports game. I'm just do variety or don't do it at all, in my opinion. But I mean, I still have fun, so who am I to judge? Maybe I'm just trying to eliminate all competitors. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, then when I quit content, Madden, I just never played it, and I don't know. Recently, Madden's been fun again.
Honestly, for me, I've said it a lot, and I've always loved Madden. I probably played it more than before recording. I honestly, I don't know if I would buy it if I didn't record. It's just like it's so stressful at times, and it seems like they ignore the community a bit. But it is fun, especially if you can find like a group of people to do like a franchise with or something. I don't know if I would do Ultimate Team like consistently.
Oh yeah, Mutt isn't.
It's too much of a grind.
I played Mutt for like a month and then sold my team.
Played for a month, and I think I mean obviously I still had a team. I made like a whatever 1 million coin pack opening video. Probably triggered a ton of people that play Mutt because it's just like a waste.
Did you make
of coin.
the how to make coin video?
I did not. I wouldn't know how to make coins. Got to learn to do that.
You just do the super basics, but like you can make money on the marketplace.
Yeah, the more games you play, the more coins you make, pal.
You earn if you play 100 games and you get 250 coins per game, just like that.
That's probably too much. How you wouldn't get?
Yeah.
God.
Do you? I know you have the second channel. Is that just Let's Plays and stuff, or what's going on over there?
I've been playing Pokemon, and it's not like some kids might be coming like, oh, Pokemon, it's awesome. But it's quite the raunchy. I've convinced anyone watching that your rival's older brother is a pedophile. So, I don't think that's what Nintendo intended, but hey, I have my doubts. I just don't trust the guy. Of course, doing Borderlands and whatnot. I think it's more fun to do because like you have more reactionary stuff rather than like commentating on like what's going on in Madden or something when I'm playing. But yeah, I mean, people are starting to watch over there. I'm trying to get more people to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So first, another question: whenever you started making content, what were you planning on making, and what did you make?
I did kind of want to just go variety. I started with GTA 5, really cringy start. I pretended as if I've been doing YouTube for a while, and I was like, oh, here's another, back with another video. I was like, oh, wait, this is the first. And needless to say, all those videos have been privated, but yeah, I just wanted to do variety YouTube, and there was obviously like money thought, that's when people are like, oh, look at this, there's so much money in YouTube. I was like, you know what, it would be cool to get a following. If you can make some money on it, that would be awesome. But yeah, it was all about variety. And then once I started seeing the numbers from Madden, I was like, well, I'll do more variety, because I was still doing variety, just not as much. And then Madden was getting the views, and I was having fun with Madden always anyway, so
yeah,
the main focus.
For me, yeah, it was kind of like the exact same thing. I wanted to do Let's Plays.
I still love doing that, and obviously it's not as popular, but
I don't know why I quit. Couldn't tell you. Stopped enjoying it.
I can tell you, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons why a lot of people quit. Like just thinking, like waking up, and obviously it's not always about numbers. It doesn't have to be, but once you get to that stage where it can become about numbers, then it becomes so stressful, and it's a lot of editing. I think editing is probably number one thing, without a doubt. Like recording is fine. Like people think, oh, you just record, you're sitting there, you're having fun. It's like, yeah, then I have to look at the file size, and I edit very basically. Anyone that watches my content, they know that. But it's still time consuming. It's tedious. You gotta export and upload. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Streaming obviously become a huge thing. It's not for me. I don't know why. I like communicating with people. It's just I can't sit there for like a super long period of time. I need to. I really do. But I don't know. I get it. I get why people watch it. It's just not for me watching or even creating, honestly.
Yeah. My thing with streaming is I would do it if I had someone else to talk. Like if I had like a
for sure
group of people in Discord to talk to. I just don't like just sitting there talking in chat. It's just weird.
I mean, a lot of thing for me, it's literally like I get headaches sometimes. Like if I'm streaming, like because I look back and forth. I know I could probably set up my monitors differently, so it's literally like back and forth. My eyes get super strained going back and forth. I don't know. It's stupid.
I mean, I watched you stream Borderlands, I think, a couple months ago.
Probably Red Dead. I don't know. I streamed something. Because Borderlands I've been doing I finished it like a while back. I just, once again, that old editing friend just keeps coming back around. I think I'm part 9, and I finished recording it maybe 3 months ago. So yeah, it's been a slow process. But yeah, streaming, I mean, I'm going to probably try to stream a little bit more Madden. I really need to. And the thing is like, if it was all about the numbers, I would stream all the time, because the last time I streamed Madden, it was like 300 viewers, which considering it was from Twitch, who I have like barely 300 followers, maybe 400. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't.
Are the numbers bigger on you? Like, what, right around, I don't know. I don't know when or like how. Then I just like the numbers stopped affecting me. Like, I would have a video do really good, or like a video that does really bad. I was just like, it doesn't really affect me for some reason.
I think obviously the numbers are big. You know, when like right now for me, it's not about getting the huge video. I just like to see the consistency and back and whatnot. It's just like if I lose that interest, it's not about being popular per se. It's just about continuing the channel. You know, I don't want it to like just I completely let it go, and it's just like, oh well, there you go, see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a lot like thinking about like, oh, I want to grow and whatnot. I don't think it's the same for everyone. There's a lot of people that do just want the popularity. They want to, you know,
they want
there's
the
always
money.
Like, yeah, I don't want the fame. And it is true. The money is obviously like that's a big motivator. And obviously when you get less views, it goes, you know, obviously it goes down. I just like communicating, because I think, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years, I pretty much have responded to 90% of the comments.
Yeah.
Even, of course, after, you know, maybe a month of videos out, I'm not going to go back. But within the first 3 days, I pretty much responded like 90% of the comments, which, you know, I like actually reading and, you know, people taking the piss out of me, but it is what it is. It's a lot of fun. So,
when are you gonna start a podcast with Brahma?
Yeah. I remember recently I did this stream maybe like a month ago, and he would just come in here. I don't remember what the joke was, but it was something like, oh yeah, I think it was it for the tournament? It was for something where somebody kept DMing me saying, oh no, it was from the stream. Some guy was like, bro, I've been waiting to play. Like I never agreed to play with him. I was doing my own rebuild stream. I had no intention of playing anyone. It's like, I've been waiting for 2 hours to play, bro. Where have you been? And you know, it kind of became a joke. And every time I'm streaming, he comes in there. It's like I don't see him, don't interact with him. I don't even know if he is active on Twitter. And then when I stream, I just see that joke, and then it's like he's gone after 5 minutes. It's like some legend nowadays.
Yeah,
a podcast could be fun though. I like what you guys are doing. It's just I don't know if would have someone that I could do it with, and would I be able to be consistent enough? Like I remember watching your earlier podcast. You guys were like, it was kind of like teetering. Like, are we going to continue it? Are we going to not? Yeah. I feel like I don't want to continue it. See you later, pal. It's like,
I mean, we did have around episode 18, 19. We got into a big argument, and the podcast ended like legit for a couple months.
I'd seen that it ended, but I didn't know it was like a big argument. I thought you guys were just like kind of joking.
We haven't said what the argument's about. We got an argument over the smallest thing, and it just got completely like
arguing over my ween. I'm sorry.
We were like, I was like, man, we got to have Jerome be the new host. I'm leaving. I want Jerome to replace me. And Alex like, no.
You guys are both thinking the same thing. I'm just doing a solo show. It's like, what? Like, what?
Yeah, we're both arguing on which one of us would get replaced by Jerome. There was a bit that I forgot. It's like episode 999. I forgot someone was supposed to replace me.
199.
No, 90. Like 999. Like forever in the future.
Then at least you guys will both be millionaires, so we don't have to worry about that.
I don't know about that.
I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'll be in that shoe either. And
the internet might not even exist by the time.
I really hope so. I know the internet's great, but at the same time, you got your issue. What about that virus? Are you gonna bring that up?
No. We typically
there was no virus. What are you guys talking about?
There was the virus in China.
That's what I mean. Like, is that what? I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know relevant topics.
We usually stick away from. We try to stick away from politics. That was like one of the only rules.
But is that really politics? But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to talk about it.
I mean, it's not really politics, but it's like
and it is though.
That type of news.
Stock market drop. I'm sorry. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. You know.
What topic? Completely.
So, Jerome, we talk a lot about movies and TV on this podcast. What are your favorite movies / TV? shows.
Style or just favorite in general?
Yeah, just favorite, just top.
Oh, man,
I was gonna say top 10, like top 5, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
Putting me on the spot with top 1. I don't know why I've always been like somebody that just they've had a movie. I've always had what's it called? Grandma's Boy is my number 1 for ages. I don't know why. But I recently like rewatched all the Star Wars. They're all right. I'm not crazy into it. I don't know. TV show, of course, I think Breaking Bad is definitely up there. Like relative nowadays TV shows, think I've been watching all the like recommended ones like but overall I think Breaking Bad is probably my favorite. I would say I think so.
I mean,
it's my favorite TV show.
It's not a wrong answer.
And then movie. Oh man, what is your answer to that?
Mine's super basic, and I'm aware it's basic. It's Shawshank Redemption.
I thought you said the movie was super basic. I was like, I've never heard of that. Yeah, I've seen that for sure. Yeah,
typically, if someone asks me in real life, I'll be like, I don't know. I say that because people know it, and also it's been my favorite forever. But like recently, I don't know, like Synecdoche, New York, it's really good. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 2001: Space Odyssey, stuff that you probably have never heard of. All 3 of those.
I've heard of Space. Maybe I haven't.
Yeah. Probably not.
I almost thought Space Odyssey was Spaceballs, which I have not even seen, which is another hilarious, stupid moment by me. I was about to say your movies were a lot more like sophisticated sounding. I don't know if they actually are, but you made me sound like really just not smart.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the 3 I just named are probably considered really boring by most people. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember half the movies I named a second ago.
I don't either. It's like Space Odyssey.
Synecdoche, New York was one of them.
Als I mentioned. Yeah. I don't know. Number 1 movie. That's.
Got like Forrest Gump.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I like all those classics, but I don't know if I've ever really had a favorite. Like for me, I know movies are supposed to be something you rewatch, but for the most part, I don't really go back and rewatch a whole lot of movies. Is that one movie? Do you know the movie where it's like they're kind of like mobsters and like the whole story? Like I thought it was going to get into something, but it was just kind of the whole story. They were like, oh crap, they were in like a warehouse, and one of them was a cop. And they didn't know he was a cop. I don't know if you know that.
Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, they rob a bank.
I like that movie a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Quentin Tarantino's first movie. It's a good one.
God, why can't I remember anything?
Yeah, I'm
gonna be diagnosed on the show.
Really good movie.
Sort of disorder. I watch a ton of movies. It's just I don't have a number 1. Sometimes I forget it's not like I forget the names. It's just like when I think in the top of my head, I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a number 1.
Yeah. Any favorite games that aren't Madden?
Any favorite games that aren't Madden?
I'm sure Madden's not your favorite all time, but I just had to say it.
It's just like the favorite series because like I played it so much, but technically by like liking it, I don't know. Like you kind of have to say that if you play something a ton, it kind of is your favorite, even if it's not. You're like technically it's not. I don't know. Favorite game. Once again, here I am with just terrible ideas. I really did like Borderlands. I thought, it's kind of like what you expect. It's not like you're going to be blown away by the story or something crazy like that. I've been playing a lot of games on the Game Pass. I never played Payday 2. It's all right. It's not really like a riveting story or anything like that. Lately games, I really just kind of play those like multiplayer like games, like something like Rocket League or what is it called? Maybe a little GTA. I don't really have a game
Roblox.
No, but I'm not gonna hate on anyone that plays it. I mean, I used to play what is it called? I was playing Minecraft for a while on a server, and then of course that always just that. I mean, it's fun at first, and then it's just like, why are we doing this again?
You eventually hit a point where you got everything, and you're just like, well,
there's no challenge. There's no goal.
I'm done in Minecraft.
It's the server's still there, the world's still there. But I am not.
Yeah,
I will see you later.
Me and my friends went back because they added pandas to Minecraft. That was the only reason we went back. And we were just like, we got to find pandas. And we spent like 4 or 5 hours trying to find pandas. That was really it.
That's part of the challenge. Yeah, when I played, I think it was after the panda thing. I don't know how long ago that was, but we didn't play on that update. I think it was like Otter update we played on because that was when they had like mod support. They didn't have mod support for the newest ones. I never really played like when I used to play Minecraft a ton. It was always on Xbox, and then finally did like I have a really good PC, yet I don't play PC games, and it's like, what am I doing? It's just like you have this beast tank sitting next to you, and you're doing nothing. It's really editing and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know games like. So what would you play normally on a day-to-day basis?
Typically, recently, I don't play anything. Like, I'll play like a game of Madden maybe, and really nothing else.
I guess I would put Pokemon on the list. Just I've found a lot of flaws. Like there's so much like corner cutting flaws and whatnot, but it just feels good to come back to a game that I haven't played in ages. Like I think the last proper Pokemon game I played was I think Diamond
and Pearl.
Yeah, that was like literally I don't even know. That's got to be at least 8 years old.
Yeah, that was the first Pokemon game I ever played. That got me into the series.
The first one on the DS. Speaking of, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I played like all the Game Boy Color ones back in the day and whatnot. I remember some kid was like flaunting his Fire Red game cartridge, and I was like, I'm not a thief. However, if I see an opening, that may be mine.
Hey, Fire Red is the best Pokemon game.
I never took it, but I still debate it to this day whether it was the right choice not to or not.
And if you check out your house, it's definitely not there?
Maybe.
Oh. When are you going to reveal your face?
It's a great question. I get that a lot. I was thinking 50K, and I was like, it's got to be before I came on here. I was like, that's coming up, right? That's coming up without a doubt. And I was thinking, what do I do? Because it's got to be grand, right? Like, remember when Scarce came out? Well, he's not gay or anything. I don't know, but it was huge. Like, it became a meme. It was like super, and it was like a good meme because it was like funny. And it became viral. I don't want to do something maybe at that level, but I would want it to be memorable. I have no idea what to do on that. I was thinking probably a safe bet if I ever get 100K, which I mean, that's a huge road. 100K, it would definitely not be after. That's all I can say. It's just get a huge surge. Some billionaires watching the podcast. He just buys a bunch of bots.
I mean,
yeah, I think 100K, no clue on what I'm going to do at all.
Have you not done it yet because it's at this point it's such like a how am I going to show my face off thing?
That is that one. I want people in the modeling business to still keep their jobs, of course. That's
I mean, you got to be fair to the market.
I mean, I give them a couple more years so they can find some other path. But overall, I just think that is a huge factor. I've also think of like other things, like some of the things I say, like they're like I don't necessarily swear anymore. But the implied jokes are very questionable things, and I do worry about like employment things. Like it is worrisome. But I'd say the most factor is just like when do I do it? How do I do it? And am I even doing it for like the right reason? Like people are just asking me like the real fans that keep coming back. They don't spam. Face reveal. It's just like the people that barely watch. Maybe there are some that are watching. Obviously, who doesn't want to see it? Face cam would be fun and all that. Yeah, I think that a lot of it is just like at this point, like if I would have done it in the beginning, oh well. But now it is kind of like I have to do it because it is one of the bigger search, options or recommendations when if you type in my channel name.
Do you know if you search your name on Google Images, the fourth picture is a picture of Bengal taking a crap?
Actually, or is this?
I'm not joking.
For real?
Yeah, I mean you just see the ceiling, but.
What if I type in what?
You just type in JeromePKR, and it's just a selfie of Bengal.
I see that. What is that?
I don't know. He responded to your. It only has like the tweet that he tweeted only has 1 like.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
How old is this? 2017.
Yeah. It was when we all had small channels back then.
I mean, we all still do. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I do, but
we all do. In the grand scheme
Bengal's
of like
a biggie boy.
Up there. He's old.
I mean, he had 150K.
Just recently, seen that. Start uploading though.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know what the this crap is his scheme.
I don't know. It's not like I don't want to upload. It's just I don't know what I would do.
I think it's like, especially now, because it's like crazy. I mean, even when we all started our channels back then, it was still super popular. Now it's like blown up.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have different outlets and whatnot. Like, but yeah, I think you definitely have to do something you want to do, but it is very hard. Honestly, I can't even like. I'm at that point where I have a bit of pull. I could, probably, if I really wanted to push for channels, I could probably get some growth on different channels. But I don't know how you start a channel now and become big. Like I don't think you can really. Okay, I have no followers on Twitter, no followers on Twitch, no big YouTube channel. I'm gonna start a fresh variety games channel. I don't think it's gonna happen. I just don't. I don't know where you go.
Yeah,
I think you have.
Yeah,
to
YouTube doesn't push gaming anymore, so.
That too. I think you got to go niche and then maybe branch out. But I mean, I've kind of tried that, and that just doesn't go. It's tough. I think you just need to become a TikTok star and just hope for the best.
Yeah, join the Hype House, whatever that TikTok house is called.
I thought you just meant like TikTok in general as a hype house. I was like, yeah, not wrong.
I mean, that's true.
Or just be like, just half naked on the site, just in general. Just do it.
Just full nude TikToks. That's the next wave.
That site's definitely going to be shut down within the next year. A question. The
TikTok?
government's going to be like, you guys are a lot older than you're saying you are, and the site, however, not super old, active users. I feel like it's a breeding ground of Chris Hansen.
I mean,
him himself, of course. But,
I don't see a problem.
That's questionable. Yeah, nothing. No implication there. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of, I see questionable things. It's like YouTube, they push this whole, I mean, I don't think really YouTube pushed it. I think the government pushed it because of the data
COPA
and whatnot. But like, they're just like, you can't, no kids, comments get disabled and all that. Where's the boundaries for all these other sites? Like, where's like, Twitch is getting wild as well. YouTube seems to be the one slapped with the bill all the time while everyone else is doing the same exact thing.
You go on Just Chat on Twitch, and there's literally like nude women painting, like doing body painting.
And YouTube, you can't even swear a few times, otherwise you're gone.
It's a great place.
Yeah. And half of them, it's like they defend their users, but a lot of them literally have that background, or they've admitted that, they've come through that way because they can get away with it, and they're just like, sorry. Once again, I think a lot is media. Like, how would that look on them if they're like, oh, sorry, you're being sexual, and then it's art. We shouldn't be talking about this, but we have. It's such a sensitive topic.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be our last topic. So where can people find you, Jerome?
They can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/JeromePKR. Should be, come ask me for a face reveal. I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, good old Jerome PKR.
One of names I have. Ugh.
That's how, like, I feel like you say it your outro. You just go Peeker. Like, I don't know.
People say that I say a lot of words weird, like sport. Like I put too much emphasis on like ort.
I mean, Alex made fun of me because I say theater,
and
apparently that's wrong.
How is it supposed to be said? Like it's spelled the theater, but that's not how it's technically spelled. That's how we spell it. But like,
do you want to go to the theater?
The theatre.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be spelled right. We literally dumbed down the English language, and we're like, "Hey there, Paul." There we are. I'm sorry, people that sound like that.
Yeah. And if your name's Paul, what's up?
Hit me.
All right, Jerome. Well, now we're gonna move on to Film Club, and we'll bring on another guest to talk about that.
Thank God I'm not on that, because that's just what.
And that's what ended. DCD Film Club. How you doing? How you doing, Drake? We just finished doing the beginning part. How you doing?
What's kicking, chicken?
How is the past 5 seconds or past hour for the people listening been for you?
The best.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I came up with a new saying today.
Yeah, did you?
So every day I come into work and I ask one of my coworkers, I say, "What's kicking, chicken?" But today he asked me what's up first. And I said, "Ain't nothing kicking but the chickens."
Yeah.
You can't tell me that's not good.
I mean, no. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I mean,
Whatever.
sure. I just had to be there, you know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I just had to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't have the vibe and everything.
yeah.
All right, so this week we're doing The Lighthouse from 2019, my favorite movie from 2019. Me and Drake watched this together at a indie theater near us.
Oh my, dude, that was the best, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't
need to
gone
do that
back
again.
since, but yeah, it's a great time. The theater was completely packed, and no one talked the entire time. It was completely
Beautiful.
dead silent. You didn't even hear the person next to you eating popcorn. It was
And
great.
they had beer.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, yeah, we need to go back for sure.
So yeah, The Lighthouse from 2019, directed by Robert Eggers. It's a second feature-length film. Stars Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe as the dogs are barking right now, which is pretty sick. My dog's howling. Yeah, this it's fantastic. What do you think about it, Drake? I know you're not.
It's one of the few movies, huh?
I was gonna say you're not typically like reviewing movies or anything, so
No, and yeah, it's probably good to have me because I'm not a connoisseur. It's one of the few movies that I just like stared at the entire time.
yeah,
I usually don't do that. I'm usually like off in La La Land or thinking about other stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I was captivated, and it made me really uncomfortable, which I think was the purpose.
yeah. It's like even like rewatching it, it's like it's shot in 1.3:1, I think is the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a square, and it's in black and white, but like it's just like mesmerizing when you get into it.
Yeah, and that horn that they
The
kept playing,
foghorn, yeah.
dude. I hear it in my dreams at night sometimes.
Yeah, like whenever we watched it, I remember telling you, I was like, yeah, it's a bit disappointing. It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. But I don't like just over time, like sitting on it, like the sound design in the movie is just insane.
yeah,
Like the foghorn, it's just a simple thing. But yeah, like when I think about this movie, it's just I'm not gonna make the noise, but you know.
yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
The cinematography is incredible in this. The acting is insane. Willem Dafoe not getting nominated for an Oscar is just stupid. He had like a monologue while eating dirt. Like when he
Yeah.
was getting buried, he was actually like, I don't know. This movie's insane.
It was wild. It was crazy to me. Like, I don't really know anything about film, obviously, but like the sounds that they wanted to make happen were like so much louder than the other ones.
Yeah.
Like when the foghorn was happening, or like there were times where he was walking, or like the what was the seagull
Yeah.
scene. Like that stuff was so much louder than like everything, like the waves and all that. Like, I don't know how they did that, but it was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's it called? It's all done in post production.
Yeah.
There's
It was
like a lot
wild.
of stuff going back to rewatching this movie that I didn't realize first time. But pretty much like we're in spoiler territory. If you don't want to get spoiled, this is the end of the podcast. And probably should click off here. There's time. Like that's gonna be honest with you. So this is your spoiler warning. I really do recommend you watch the movie without spoilers. This movie's really good. Like as I said, my favorite movie from last year. Check it out. You can't stream it. Well, you can pay to rent stream it. You can't stream it. Like it's not on Hulu or anything. But it's like $4 on all the streaming sites. But so rewatching it, I know what's gonna happen and hit like all its delusions. So like the seagull is like the first one that kind of like the whole Willem Dafoe is like, don't kill the seagull because the seagull, or you never kill a gull, you never kill a seabird. That's what he says. Don't kill a seabird, and then it's because seabirds are the souls of dead seamen.
Yeah.
And then, so the first seagull that starts messing with him, I didn't notice this when we first watched it. He only has one eye. Like the seagull only has one eye. And then later in the film, the Willem Dafoe's second, whenever he finds the dead body in like the lobster trap, the dead body only has one eye.
Whoa, I didn't notice that.
So it's like the soul of that person, but it's also Robert Pattinson. He's just like everything, like nothing just happens for no reason. It's like something that Willem Dafoe would tell him. Thomas will tell him. Well, they're both named Thomas. Willem Dafoe will tell him something, and then he's like going crazy. Like something I also didn't notice. Like first one is I noticed it, but I didn't notice it like within the story. I guess, like I don't know how to explain it. Whenever it was revealed, I was like, oh, that makes sense, but I didn't think about it like the leading up to it, like the foreshadowing. Like Robert Pattinson's character, whenever he's a timberman, his boss got killed on the job, and you can actually like it shows the scene of his boss getting killed. Whenever Robert Pattinson is masturbating, earlier in the film, and like I don't know, there's like so much stuff that like I didn't catch the first time, and you go back and watch it, it's like that. Like the mermaid, he finds like the mermaid sculpture thing, and then he starts tripping out that there's a mermaid in the sea.
Yeah.
Or like Willem Dafoe's like his second's dead, and then he's like he explains how his second trips out, and then like basically Robert Pattinson does like the whole thing, like the whole trip out. But another cool thing about the story that you probably don't know is Robert Eggers, the director of this, says it's pretty much it's Prometheus and Proteus of Greek mythology trapped in a lighthouse. So Prometheus he's not a Greek god. I think he's a Titan or something like that. Not for sure. But his thing is Zeus like banned fire from humans. So Prometheus went up to like climbed Mount Olympus, got fire from there, and brought it down to the humans. And then Zeus found out, and he's like chained him up to a mountain, and every day ravens or like seagulls, I forget which bird, would peck out his liver. But since he's a god, he didn't die, and every day he would regrow his liver. So every day, constantly, his liver would get eaten. And then Proteus, that's supposed to be Robert Pattinson's character. And then Proteus is like the old man of the sea, and he's like ever changing, and that's like his whole thing. So like Willem Dafoe in the story, like he tells the story of like how he broke his leg. He's like with like in the hospital. There's like a nun, and later in the story he changes how he broke his leg, and he like changes up stories. He gets like names mixed up and stuff, and he's weird. So it's like I don't know, it's like a Greek mythology story.
That's deep.
Which also spoilers, by the end of the movie, the final shot is Robert Pattinson laying on the rocks getting his liver pecked out by seagulls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a cool story.
Yeah.
It's neat that they can, I mean, people like me just don't put it in a movie. I think about stupid stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you typically watch comedies more often.
Yeah, I do, but still also yeah, it was amazing though. It was. I think I gave it a high rating.
No, it's not anymore. You gave it a 9 out of 10 on Letterboxd. If you want to follow Drake on Letterboxd, it's Drake Bowen or Drake Bowen. Yes. I'm gonna quickly look it up.
I think it's Drake Bowen.
I gave it an 8 when we first watched it, and then I gave it a 10 out of 10. So that's our ratings. Unless you want to change yours, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Fantastic movie.
What'd I give it?
You gave it a 9 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, let's go with that.
It is... Yeah, it's just Drake Bowen. So go follow Drake Bowen. Follow me on Letterboxd. Follow Dead Channel Duo on Letterboxd. Or follow Alex on Letterboxd. Or just follow us all. Be great. I'm really getting annoyed that my webcam is just slightly out of focus. And like, it's just slightly out of focus. And it's been, like, slightly out of focus this entire time. That's not fun, but yeah.
You could be like your boy and use a laptop.
Yeah.
What's up?
I should downgrade. The Brio, it does 4K webcam. Oh, trash. And then you have a laptop cam that's been in focus the entire time.
Exactly, dude. I'm holding my mic to my face.
Yeah. I mean, we have the same stand.
Heck yeah, we do.
You just have the USB technically, kind of. You have the AT2020, I have the AT2035.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Lighthouse, incredible. Probably wasn't your typical film club review. It's kind of weird doing it without Alex, like getting into it. Like I was like, I don't know how to start this.
Yeah. And also, I'm very little help when it comes to like in-depth reviews about anything.
Yeah, I just realized my mouse has been on the screen, so I apologize with that. But there'll probably be an overlay over it, so. But I'd probably be. I don't know. But yeah, so next week's pick, since Alex isn't here, I texted him. I was like, hey, Alex, do you want to just send me your pick and I'll reveal it on the show? He was like, no, just skip me. Go to the next thing in the rotation, which is fan picks. So this week is another fan pick. It is from Jared or Spoon Sandwich on Twitter. And his pick is The Art of Self-Defense. It is a comedy, I believe. I'm aware of the movie. I think it's a comedy. Stars, what is his name? It stars Jesus Christ, Jesse Eisenberg. And it's on Hulu and Amazon Prime if you want to check that out. And yeah, it's a drama thriller. I thought it was a comedy. Maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah. The Art of Self-Defense is what we'll be covering in the next episode. Drake, last time you were on here, I recommended The Eyes of My Mother, and you didn't watch it. Will you be watching The Art of Self-Defense?
You know, honestly, we've talked about this. I started my own, classes the other day, so I'm actually pretty intrigued by that.
Wait, what?
Huh?
You started your own classes?
Yeah, I take jujitsu.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm done. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, it's like a dojo thing. I don't really know what it's about because I typically don't look at trailers before I watch movies or try to avoid them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I like him as an actor, and I'm intrigued by it.
Has an 84% Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, Art of Self-Defense. That's gonna be it. I gotta do the outro. 1 minute wrap up. Usually Alex says check out t-shirts. T-shirts link in the description. Buy our t-shirts. It helps support the show. If you want to support the show another way, we have Patreon. Patreon.com/Dead Channel Duo. Only for $1. You can get every single episode early. You can submit picks for fan picks for DCD Film Club. If you shoot that thing up to $5, you get a sticker, I believe. And then at $10, you get a monthly stream with us. You get to play games, chill out with me and Alex. We've had 2 guys in the gold member, but only we've ever done the stream once because they just don't seem to want to do it. But for $10 a month, you can play with me and Alexander. I just want to thank our Patreons now. We have Dumma Sphinx in the egg tier, Bobby in the Andy tier, and Jared and Daniel in the gold tier. Thank you very much. And if you want a free way to support us, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Anything you want to say in the podcast? Who's your hog of the week, Drake?
Dennis Kelly.
Even a loss, but he caught a touchdown, man. I support it.
Yeah, I know they lost, but he scored, and that's every big boy's dream. So,
yeah.
Shout out to Dennis Kelly.
Shout out to Zion Williamson, his first game, not doing anything for a couple quarters, and then went off.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and saw that on my phone, and I was like, okay, well.
Yeah. He was like, all Twitter's like, okay, Zion's trash, blah, blah, blah. And then he scored 17 straight points for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous. Cool. So, DCD episode 65. Hopefully next week Alex will be back. 90% sure he will be. I don't know. Or maybe this is like the new thing. It'll just be me and a bunch of guests. Let me know if you like the podcast. It's a different one. All right. Deuce.